Good morning. My name is Nat. I'm from Nat's Creations NC, and today I want to cover a video on how to make a vector file. I'm in a lot of different forums, chat groups on Facebook, on CO2 lasers, diode lasers, X-Carves, things like that. And I see a lot of posts in there from people who are looking for somebody that can create a vector file, specifically an SVG file or a DXF file. It's really pretty easy to do. I think a lot of people are intimidated by it. So I want to help dispel some of the, or ease some of the apprehensions that people have over making these type of files. The software that I'm going to use today is Lightburn. I've been using it for a while. It's a really good software. It's relatively inexpensive. I believe now for Lightburn for a diode laser is $160, or not 160, my mistake, $60, and then for a CO2 laser it's 120, I believe is what it is. I'd have to look that up again, and it's been a while. It comes with a 1-year license. And during that 1 year, any updates that come out with the software, which I usually come out with a couple during the course of the year, are free for current license. Once your license expires, you can still use the software, you just don't get any of the updates. And generally what I do is I'll have the software for about 2 years or so, and then I'll pay for the a new license and get all the current upgrades as they improve other features and stuff like that. So it's really good software. There is other software out there, things like Inkscape, I believe Adobe Illustrator and stuff, other programs like that will do it. But I kind of prefer Lightburn because I can use it to actually control my diode laser and my CO2 laser for files when I'm using them. So that's why I prefer to use it. So first off, let me start off with saying that when you're going to convert a photo or a picture to an SVG file, the better the quality of the photo, the better quality of the image trace that you're going to get. Meaning that you won't have to go in and make a bunch of edits to it or fix a lot of stuff to make it a very good file. So remember that. And what I have done, second thing, is that photos that you use, make sure that they're not copyrighted. You don't want to run into any problems through copyright errors or anything like that for something that you make and that you're trying to sell. It can be a big headache, so just be aware of that. I've already found 3 photos. They're Arizona Cardinals logo, and I'm using these because they perfectly illustrate the point that I'm trying to get across in the video and show you the differences as far as quality of the photo making a difference. So without wasting any more time, let's jump into it. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is I need to import my photos. So if I go to the File tab up here in the upper left-hand corner, click on it, and then scroll down to Import. Now, I do like to use shortcut keys occasionally. The import button is Control-I if you want to import a picture, so just remember that. I'm going to import, and I'm going to go up here to my desktop, and I'm going to scroll down till I find my first picture, and I'm going to use this one right here first. So this is a better quality photo. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the other photos that I have right now so that I can show those as well. And I will bring in this one. Actually, that one right there is the better quality photo. And one last one should be this one right here. Now you'll see that 2 of these are pretty much exactly the same. The only difference is the size of the photos themselves. So I'm going to scroll in here, and I'm going to scroll into this last photo that I brought in, and I'm going to go ahead and do a trace image on this one. Now, 2 ways to get to the image trace. You can go to the Tools tab up here and then just go down to Trace Image. Make sure that your photo is highlighted when you do that, or you can do Alt-T. Alt-T is usually what I use to do this. So I'm going to trace my image. and it brings up a window right here so we can see what's going on, but it's really kind of hard to see. So if you click on the fade image down here at the bottom of the window, it'll fade out the image, and then you can see what is going to get traced out here. So I have my outer circle, and I have most of the details that I need. I'm missing a few things, and I can play with the slider right here, the threshold slider, and I can slide it to the left. I can pick up some more stuff, but you see as I do that, how the image, the quality of what I'm getting a trace on kind of disappears as I go back and forth, right? And if I go here, it kind of clears up a little bit. We'll kind of see what we got here. And, you know, I think maybe I'm going to go back with the original that I had here, which was 128 for this photo. And I'm going to click OK. And for light burn, you have the choice between line and fill. Whenever I'm tracing an image, I like to use line so I can see exactly what I've got. Now, since I'm missing a few things in here, I'm going to go ahead and do another image trace on this photo, and I'm going to use Alt-T this time to bring it up, and I'll fade it out. And this time I'm going to play with the slider until I get the pieces that I'm missing. I guess I got to get that button if I'm going to do that. And I think that will work right there. So I'm going to do that one right there. And I'll go ahead and drag this over. We'll look at what do I got here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and ungroup this photo, and that's this selection, little single person right here, to ungroup it, and I'll click off of it, and then I can get rid of all of the stuff in here that I don't need to get rid of, or I don't need to bring over to the other file that I have. So as I get out of it, bear with me a second as I delete this stuff. All right. All right, so let's see here. What do I need? I can use this one right here, and I can use, if I hold the shift button, I can use that one right there, and I believe that is all I need. I'm going to go ahead and group those back together. The group selection is 3 people kind of together. It groups my selection, and then when I drag this over, because I have the snap to grid or snap to object selection selected in my settings, it will generally snap to where I'm trying to bring it into, so it's all together. It kind of goes in where I want it at. Now what I can do, if I'm having some problems here, I can bring that out, and then this should all still be grouped. So what I can do is I can go to this, looks like a little target, and I click on that, and then what it does is it centers both objects together. And that looks pretty good right there. So I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to group both of those together, and I'm going to bring that over here and put it right next to this photo. And then what I'll do is I'll highlight all this stuff here, get rid of everything, and we'll go to the next picture to trace. Now, if I look at that, that doesn't look too bad. I kind of like that. I can work with that a little bit. But let's see if we can do better. So let's go to our next photo, and I'm going to hit Alt-T, and I'm going to do my trace. I'm going to fade my image so I can see what I'm actually getting, and that looks pretty good. I'm not going to do too much adjustments to it, and I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to slide that off to the side, and I'm going to come back in here, and I'm going to capture the rest of what I need to finish this off. So let's go back in here, do Alt-T. I'm going to fade my image, and this time I'm going to use my threshold slider to slide in and find the stuff that I need. Try to get the best that I can. Sometimes this is just a little bit difficult to get the best quality. But I'm going to go with that right there for now, because let's see what I've got here. And I'll slide this off to the side. Bring that over there for right now. And I'm going to ungroup that, and I'm going to see what I need here. So I can use that one, and I can use this here. I think those will both work. And I'm going to group those together, and then I'm going to drag that over, and I'm going to put that in like so. Now, there are a few things in here. Actually, I should have. Let's undo that. We're going to bring that back over, and I'm going to click that, and I'm going to group that together as well and drag it over and put it right in there. Now, part of this would be good for a layered file if I was trying to make this as a layered object where I'm building up multiple pieces together, and kind of like that. That doesn't look too bad. Not exactly 100%. We can always go back in there a little bit later and fix that, but just to get the initial trace, that's what we want. I'm going to go ahead and group that together, and I'll delete this, and we can take a look at our file, take a look at that. That doesn't look too bad. A few things that we'll have to fix in there, but we can work with that for right now. Now we got the last photo, and this is our better quality photo, so this one should trace a lot better. And I'm going to hit Alt-T to go in and trace, so I'm going to fade my image. I'm going to look at what I have. I like what I'm seeing, so I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to bring that off to the side right here, and I'm going to go back in. And I'll do the same thing one more time. Alt-Trace, or Alt-T, and then I can move my slider until I get what it is that I'm looking for. And I think that is looking pretty good, so I'm going to keep that. And since everything is already grouped, what I need to do, though, is I need to get rid of a few things. So one of them, so I'm going to ungroup this one, and I'm going to get rid of the eye. I'm going to get rid of the beak right here, and let me get this out of the way for a second. And I'm going to group that back together, and then I'm going to bring this over, and I'm going to put that in there like so. And I like that. That looks good, looks pretty centered. And if I go to fill, that's not too bad. And this would be perfect for a layered object, so, you know, kind of keep that in mind. If we, there are a few different settings that we can change in here. All right, so what I'm going to do now that I've got my traces and they're all good, I'm going to go ahead and delete these photos because we no longer need them. And then what I will do is I'm going to make these all the same size. So what I want to do is I'm going to make this 3 inches. And I'm working in millimeters, although I live in the United States. The CO2 laser that I use likes millimeters, so that's what I use. And good thing about Lightburn software is if I'm making something and I know it in inches, but I don't know it in millimeters, I can type it in, make sure that I put the inch symbol in there for my dimension, and it will automatically size it to millimeters for me, and I don't have to do a lot of math. And trust me, I absolutely love that because I hate doing all those conversions. And I know the metric is supposed to be the wave of the future. Is a lot easier to use. A lot of cases it is, but you know, I still use the inch function. All right, so and I'll do that, and then do 76 right there. Made them all the size. I'll lock all those up and put them side by side. So we'll go and look at the first one, and we'll make some critiques of this one. If we look at the lettering in here, the lettering's not really crisp and clear. You can see it's really kind of off. doesn't look all that great. So that would be something that I would have to go in a little bit later if I wanted to use this for something to fix. So I may not actually keep that one. If that's all the only image I had, I would keep it and I would go back in and make some changes to it. Okay. Now the next one is this one, and again, we have some differences in here which we'd actually have to go in and fix, but same thing with the lettering. The lettering is not crisp and clear. A few things on the vector file itself that I'm going to have to correct to get it to come out the way that I want to. And with the fill option on, I can see exactly what's going to laser engrave or what's going to cut if I'm using it on like a CNC router or something like that. So that's the good thing here. And then if I go to my third one here, same thing. I can look and see at everything that's going to cut. I can look at my lettering. My lettering is pretty crisp and clear. I like the way that looks. So this one I would probably keep, and then I could go in and make some minor changes to the file to do exactly what I want. So this one I'm going to keep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these two because I don't need them. They were for demonstration purposes only. And I'm going to use this one. So what I want to do now, you have two types. There's actually more than two types. At most of the systems out there, they'll use an SVG file, which is a scalable vector graphic, or a DXF, which is a digital exchange format. DXF has been around for a lot longer. They're a lot more common, and a lot of systems will recognize a DXF over an SVG. You also have AI, Adobe Illustrator, Inkscape, stuff like that. So, but I like using DXF. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this, and I have the file highlighted. I'll go up here and click on the File tab, and I can export it. And when it brings up, you'll see down here is a Save as Type file. It already has an AutoCAD DXF file, digital exchange format file selected, because that's what I save all of mine as the most. And I'm just going to name this file right here so I know what it is. You know, make sure that you use a file name so that you kind of know what the file is going to look like beforehand. Makes it easier to find when you're searching for them. I'm going to go ahead and save that, and then if I wanted an SVG file, I can go back up here and I can export it again, except this time I can select SVG, and see, this program also gives you the Illustrator file option. I can save that as a SVG, and then I can just type it in. And hit save, and it's saved. I have all my files, and if I want to go back in later, I can go ahead and delete this. And if I want to work on it later on, I can just go up here to import, and I can find my DXF file. So Arizona Cardinals round, and then you'll see my Arizona Cardinals logo round SVG. If I hit my DXF file there, it'll bring it in, and I can make any edits to it that I want. I think that's about all that I have. If I've missed anything, please let me know. Again, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section, and I will get back to you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day.